Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys my recap on RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 8, or Episode 8. Now, this chapter right here is very, very important and a lot to bring in and talk about and more questions to come about later, Because this is where things are revealed and how events or things the way it was in the end, Besides all that, this is what I'll be wearing from now on in my RWBY recaps, Because apparently I got this as a gift for Christmas, which 1 week or 2 weeks ago, and I really like it. So you can expect this kind of like hat to be in every single RWBY or anything related to RWBY, that kind of thing. So if anything else, let's just get this started. Oh yeah, not to mention a very late gift that I was given was this. Okay? Yes, it's Pyrrha. My favorite redhead girl and my #1 top chick in the RWBY franchise. Which, we all know what happened to her. Anyways, besides me being a nagging motherfucker and being a little show off and being a jerk, let's just get this recap started. We have to it that Qrow ends up talking to Team Ranger, or you could call it whatever team you want, because it involves RWBY, Jean, Nora, and Ren. We had to it that they talk about the Maidens, and John was being salty on Qrow because when they talked about the 4 Maidens about not having to need dust for their abilities, it seems like to me things are gotten out of hand where Jean is really salty at Qrow because Pyrrha was involved in this, and we all know what happened to Pyrrha, And John has this angry eyes or salty mood to blame Qrow for this. But Qrow tells Jean that we didn't force her on anything. We told her the situation, and we asked her to have a choice. And therefore, she decides to make that choice. And you all know what that choice was. We all know what happened. I am going to say this. Jean has every right to be angry. I think he does, because Pyrrha was part of his team, and Pyrrha was possibly a love interest to Jean. Or whatever. But Pyrrha was part of his team. There's no denying that. But after talking about the Fall Maidens, about Amber, who was young and inexperienced, who got attacked by Cinder, who now has the Fall Maidens' powers, etc., things are still getting a little out of control. And when Rui asked about Tyrion, going after silver-eyed warriors, Qrow mentions that these guys know these silver-eyed warriors, and it's a very rare trait, and so forth. And because of these silver-eyed warriors were a major threat to certain powerful people, and because of you unleashed that ability, you actually gave them trouble, and that's why they are after you. Your power is the main threat to their objective, if anything. And we all know what that objective is. And therefore, we also have to it that why was this kept hidden? And schools being attacked and everything is really, really confusing. Even Nora, Ren, and everyone else is like, what the heck is really going on here? That kind of thing. Therefore, Qrow decides to ask him, do you know something involving religion? Which is something that never bothers to, I thought religion would never be involved in the RWBY franchise, but now it is. Apparently, there were gods involved through stories or creation, but 2 gods are real, which these 2 gods are somehow being what may be related to us in the end. And I will get to that later. Not the 2 gods that are related, but in the end, it does have to do with us in general, mentally and possibly philosophically, whatever. We have to it that there were god brothers. These 2 gods were actually brothers, except one brother, who is the oldest one, is the light, and the youngest one is the dark god, So there were a light god, which is the older brother, and the dark god, which is the younger brother. apparently they had different personas, because like the light wants to create life and sees everything going into a good smooth way, but the dark brother had a different persona. He wants to see everything destroyed, eliminated, extinct, destroyed. So he ends up making something that counteracts, or it becomes a countering measure against his older brother's creations of life, water, while he makes drought and famine, everything, anything that's involved with like that's able to make everything go extinct in other cases, like for example, what we have water, but later on it turned into a drought because of his power, that kind of thing. You get the point if you watch the chapter or episode, obviously. But we also have to it that the dark brother god, which is the youngest one, he is responsible for creating Grimm, which is to my shock, honestly, because I thought Salem was the one making the Grimm. And then I think either I was not paying attention or something else, but whatever the situation is, that was pretty surprising to me. And I think a lot of you RWBY fans might slap me across the face left and right, go like, are you really stupid or something? Anyways, the older brother is really having enough of this, and he decides to go with his brother to make one final masterpiece, which is something that the younger brother agrees on. The last piece, the last creation that they built together is to create and destroy, possibly. Gift of knowledge, along with these things, yada yada yada. But the most important thing that they created together, which either they fused or became one or created, I don't know what the thing is, but one thing was sure, they made the creation the power to choose, which is a big relation to us as well. We have the power to choose who we want to be, whether we want to create or to destroy. That is something that we are given, that choice. The power to choose and the power of choice, which is related to us many ways, And there's no denying that, and do not think that's not too relatable. The power to choose. Anyways, we also have to it that it's also related to the path of light or darkness. And that is how humanity became to be. But there were 4 things involved, which is possibly the relics, or it is the relics, which is known to be knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice, which is really shocking to me. I thought the relics I had a feeling that the relics would be involved with some kind of power, but I never thought it would be said with the knowledge of, with the power of knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice. And I think those are the 4 relics right there. Not to mention they're not metaphorical, as Qrow says, but in physical form left behind by the gods when they abandoned Remnant, or remnants, whatever. But another thing too is that this is a very important thing. Whoever collects all 4 of them, knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice, will have the power to change the entire world. And I'm like, holy crackalack, do they really have that kind of power? But when I think about it and piece it all together, and I'm pretty sure all RWBY fans might have analyzed and tried to piece all these notes together, that knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice. This is where if you have all 4 of those relics or powers right there, you can change the world. Some are related to our world when you get a job in the government system, which is something that I'm not too fond of in politics, but yeah. But to protect these relics, huntsman academies were created, not to mention having warriors to protect it as well. So 4 relics, 4 academies. So we all know Beacon Academy fell, but the question is, what relic did it have there, Did it have knowledge, creation, destruction, or choice? We don't know. But one thing is sure, we don't know where the relic is, and possibly it could be down somewhere else. That is one thing to say. But we also get knowledge about Ozpin's predecessors that made the academies as a fortress, And We also get to know information from Qrow that hiding these relics is to keep it from mankind to use it against itself. In other words, you hiding these relics so humanity would not use it against each other, like kill each other for it in other cases. And keeping them out of reach from Salem. And we all know that Salem wants these relics so she can exterminate humanity, which is her goal, obviously. And I'm pretty sure it was informed and was already told by that. And therefore, that's how it came to be. There was a scene with Blake bonding and apologizing to her father, how she was just a brat and she joined the White Fang and so forth. But her father does not blame her, and he says, I will never hate you and I always loved you. Even though I was worried that you might have went down the wrong path, and Blake was really worried because she did go down the wrong path, and she wasn't happy about that. But her father says, and you pulled yourself out of there. And that is why I'm proud of you, Let's just say he's proud that she developed or something. But all this thing, it gets interrupted by Sun. Son, I love you, man. You're my best monkey boy here and there. But seriously, you're killing the mood. And you're not making anything better. Besides all that, John asks, why doesn't the whole world not know of this, huh? We could be prepared for it. And Nora asks, why doesn't know what? Yeah, we could mobilize an army and get prepared for it. What else is there? And Haven might be next. Why aren't we hurrying up? And Ozpin tells Nora, look, the headmaster saw what happened. He's not stupid, and he's prepared for that. And do you think it's easy to mobilize an army? Heck no. It takes time. And therefore, he tells Jean about this, like saying, if the whole world knew about these things, about the Fall Maidens and the relics, along with Salem, and all this other kinds of information, all hell or chaos would just break loose. Like, everything would be in the dumps, and another great war would begin. And if another great war gets started, then John, along with these other people who might be the same age as him, they will end up having to fight, which is not something that good, because when it comes to wars and battlefields, hell, you could expect a lot of blood and a lot of casualties in the ring. That is the fact. So, we also have to it that Salem is dividing humanity right now, and she's already doing a good job, and that is not a good thing. To divide humanity, break their trust, and only trust themselves, and make things like complicated, give them doubt and sadness, darkness, or give them no hope at all and despair. Salem's doing a good job on that, and should humanity fall into the depths of darkness, all of humanity is extinct. Will be exterminated, if anything. RWBY does ask, what should we do now? And Qrow says, I don't know. And right now, these schools were created to stop Salem from doing chaos right now, Atlas will be on high alert, but not to mention, it'll be hard to find help. And right now, because with Cinder's doings and her crew, what's been going on, Haven is the next target. And therefore, Qrow also says that there are answers that the headmaster of Haven may know, And we also have to it that RWBY asks, why do you hide in the shadows and not reveal yourself and travel by yourself, all this secrecy? It's not good. Is it because you don't trust me? Because I trust you. And Qrow mentions, it's not about trust, okay? Let me tell you something. You do know that crows are a sign of bad luck, and that's how I got my name. He also makes examples how things work, absorbing electricity, things burst into rose petals, some were born unlucky, and Qrow's semblance he mentions is something really different from all others. We have to it that he explains that his semblance brings misfortune. He's nothing more than a bad luck charm. It comes in handy against the enemy. But one thing for sure, but if it goes against friends and family, that's a different matter, which Qrow is not happy about. And therefore decides to take a walk and ask him to go to sleep, We have to it that Blake slaps Sun for interrupting, but Sun tries to explain to her that he wants to help and tries to talk to Blake that the White Fang is involved, and Blake, not wanting to hear the White Fang, wants to be at home, talk to her family, and set things straight and try to get her mind in place. But Sun tries to say, look, the White Fang does not wear a mask in Menagerie, but someone does. Here, let me show you something. But Blake got his looking like iPhone thing, whatever you want to call it, and threw it out there. And this is where like tsundere moments come in, you know? And we end up seeing that a White Fang spy is located, and Blake went after it. And therefore, Blake's mother says, what's going on? And Sun says, I told you the White Fang is evil, and I'm bringing your daughter back. I'll be right back. And then jumps out to go after her, or go after the spy too. Next morning, Qrow ends up coughing blood, or coughing up scorpion poison because of Tyrion. Freaking Ruby, that's your damn fault, obviously. Dang it. And looks like the scorpion's poison is already starting to kick in. And just by looking at Qrow's hand, if he doesn't get treatment soon, he's going to die. And if he dies, hell, I will freaking flip my chair around and start punching the wall. That's for sure. And the way how it ended like that was a D move. Okay? Ah! So yeah, overall, this chapter or episode right here was very, very important. How humanity came to be by light and darkness, and how they clash against each other. And Blake is bonding with like her father and apologizing to her. And you know, all this information from Qrow, etc., about the world not knowing this, and then the 4 relics or 4 powers is known to be knowledge, creation, structure, and choice, which is related to almost a lot of us here. And the power to choose is also related to us, etc. So, whoever collects all 4 of those things, which is known to be the relics of knowledge, creation, instruction, and choice, will change the world. And if Salem gets her hands on all 4 of them, all hell breaks loose. Humanity will die, and everything will be remade in her image. Nothing of the sort right there. Wow. So yeah, a lot of information, and if the world knew about it, all chaos will be breaking loose, another great war, and we all be dead, etc. And Jean, Team Ranger, will be involved with the fight along with the same age people as them. So yeah, Blake and her father bonding, and Blake's son arguing about the White Fang spy. Yes, a lot of things happening in this episode, and Qrow coughing up scorpion poison or blood, mixture of that, if anything. And he better get treatment soon, or he's gonna die. I don't know how far Haven is, but I'm pretty sure that since Qrow coughed up that much poison or scorpion poison blood, or his blood, it shows that his time is limited. I pray on my knees that he does not die in this volume. Not yet. He cannot die in this volume yet. And if he does, like I said, I flip my chair and punch a wall, making a dent. So that's about it. Crazy chapter and so forth. So if anything else, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zitto. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!